Welcome to Legends in the Making, the no BS, high impact show for leaders who refuse to settle for mediocrity. If you're tired of playing it small, stuck in hesitation, or watching your team operate at half capacity, this is your wake up call. Here's the truth: legendary leadership isn't about titles, talents, or luck, it's about discipline, alignment, and execution. Each episode, we cut through the noise and get straight to what really moves the needle: the brutal cost of staying comfortable and how to break free. Why your energy dictates everything from execution to culture to bottom line results, and how to build unstoppable momentum without burnout, second guessing, and endless overthinking. This isn't theory, this isn't fluff, this is a playbook for leaders ready to ditch the ordinary and unleash the legendary. If you're ready to stop talking about potential and start creating undeniable results, you're in the right place. Let's get to work. And today we are talking about success and how boring success is, and how you have to stop looking for shortcuts. Most successful leaders don't rely on motivation or quick hacks. They show up and execute relentlessly. The reality: most people want the results, but are not willing to commit to the process. And this episode exposes the myths of overnight success and breaks down why repetition, discipline, and consistency are the true paths to legendary achievement. So, the harsh truth about success: success isn't exciting, it's consistent execution. The world idolizes overnight success stories, but behind every legend is years of unseen disciplined work. High performers aren't chasing excitement, they're committed to daily excellence. If your leadership isn't predictable and disciplined, neither is your business. And so when you look for signs you're addicted to shortcuts instead of mastery, you start strong but lose momentum when things feel repetitive. You constantly jump from one new strategy to the next new strategy to the next new strategy to the next without fully committing to any one of them. We live in this society, I heard this, like, where we don't make a decision. You have to make a decision. We've created this like swipe culture, especially when you think about dating apps, of like the next best thing will come along, versus like, no, I'm going to commit to this person and see where this goes. Same applies to every other aspect of your life. When are you willing to make a decision and commit to it? And, if you think about you're addicted to shortcuts instead of mastery, you're waiting for the momentum and the motivation instead of building daily habits that make success inevitable. Here's a mindset shift for you. Success isn't found in the big moments, it's built in the small, boring daily discipline. But are you willing to do the small, boring daily discipline again and again and again and again and again, day in and day out? Not get sick of it and go, oh, yesterday I didn't do that. Nope. Today and every day you choose and lean in again and again and again. It doesn't matter what your process and your disciplines are you willing to do them relentlessly all the time? And not go, well, I did that yesterday, so I don't need to do it today. No, it's about every day. Every day. So there is a big difference between movement and progress. Busy versus productive. Are you actually moving forward? Many leaders, and most of us, confuse being busy with being effective. The real metric for success is, are you actually moving the ball forward? Is the action you're taking actually causing a ripple effect that starts to produce a momentous result? Are you making measurable progress towards your goals? Can you see the impact of the decision? And if you're not making impact towards your goal, number one, I'd look at like your starting point of where you started from, and then what action you were taking. And was it aligned action or was it busy work? Were you doing it because somebody said, if you do this, this will make you successful? No, you have to align with what is the right action and take full ownership of it, and then use that to move forward. And also, how do you audit your habits and eliminate distractions that disguise themselves as productivity? That's a big one for me. I can think I'm busy working and productive, but is the work that I'm doing actually moving the needle? Is it moving the ball further down the field? Or am I just spinning my wheels thinking I'm doing something productive when in all actuality, I'm doing nothing? The shamanic perspective on repetition and mastery. In ancient traditions, wisdom is developed through practice, not theory. Hear that again. In ancient traditions, wisdom is developed through practice, not theory. So it's not like people just sat around and thought about stuff and was like this. No, wisdom's actually developed through the art of doing. We start with our being. Who am I being? And then through my beingness, what am I doing? Through that, I'm learning wisdom of what's working. Energy alignment isn't about quick fixes. Most of us have energetic blocks that we don't even know are subconsciously holding us back. But are we willing to look at them when they come up? When we have moments of frustration, when we have moments of anxiety, are we willing to look at those and inquire and find out, where are those coming from? Why are you showing up? Listen, understand them. And then you have to requalify them back to the truth of what is actually true. Quit feeding the lie, start telling the truth. The truth is, we live in a benevolent, loving, infinitely abundant universe. So if I'm in a mentality of lack, understanding where that comes from is so important. And you can go through that journaling exercise to really uncover where is that fear coming from? Where is that coming from? But then you also have to realign it with, that isn't true. You have to stop feeding that pattern and go, that isn't true. And then the power of ritual. Why embedding small intentional habits creates long-term impact. The shamanism is based on rituals. We should be creating rituals that create success. And they can be very small. So what are your daily habits for setting yourself up for success? And what are the habits that you have that are keeping you stuck? So locking in unshakable discipline. Define for yourself, what are 3 non-negotiables that you must do every day, no matter what? And understand, if it's not scheduled, it's optional. Success isn't optional. So if there are 3 things you have to do every day, whether it's meditate, whether it's journaling, whether it's working out, whether it's breath work, I don't care what your non-negotiables are that bring you into alignment with who you are, you need to do those. And you need to schedule them, and you don't do anything else until those things get completed. Or if they're mattered throughout the day, you hold yourself accountable to that appointment. If that appointment was with yourself, you hold yourself accountable to that. Create accountability structures. Who and what keeps you locked in when motivation fades? This is why high performers invest in coaching, masterminds, and systems to eliminate inconsistency. That's why coaching is so important. Because we ourselves can't intrinsically do all the work. Having somebody call us out on our shit and go, that's an excuse, is uber, uber, uber important. And then you've got to embrace the boring work. The most successful leaders execute the same fundamentals over and over and over again, better than anyone else. There's this 10,000 rule. If you haven't heard of it, here it is. the 10,000 rule. Mastery isn't a mystery, it's math. Mastery isn't a mystery, it's math. It's doing the same thing over and over and over again, because that's what makes you better than anyone else. You don't need more you don't need more motivation, you need more discipline. So if you want to become disciplined, if you want to become more successful, let's look at your daily execution. Let's avoid shortcuts. If you're searching for a hack, you're avoiding the work. Your challenge, I want you to identify one habit you're being inconsistent with. Log it in every single day for the next 30 days. DM me disciplined if you're done searching for hacks and ready to commit to actual work. If you want legendary results, you have to commit to legendary discipline. No shortcuts, no hacks, just execution. So I've just given you the playbook. Now it's up to you to execute. Legendary leadership isn't built on ideas, it's built on actions. So ask yourself, what's one move you can make right now to step into your next level? And if today's episode hit home, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, take a leader who needs to hear it, and create a ripple effect of unstoppable execution. If you want to go deeper, DM me Legendary to explore how we can take this work inside your company. No more playing small, no more hesitation. You've got what it takes. Now go make it happen. This is Legends in the Making, and you are just getting started. And until next time, stay aligned, stay disciplined, and keep leading at the highest level.